Hello. So today let's have a conversation about marketing. The one thing that most of us don't do enough of, right? So most businesses don't commit as much to marketing as they should. So what I want to do today is try and have a conversation with you. Well, talk to you about marketing. We could have a conversation if you engage in the comment section, and then we try and see how we can make that work. But talk to you today about the importance of marketing and a specific style of marketing or a specific approach to marketing that we've used for ourselves and also used for a number of our clients. And we do have quite a number of our clients who are able to take everything they did in an entire year and do it in 90 days using this model that we share. So let's get to work. The first concept that we need to clarify on is, what is marketing? Marketing is not sales. Marketing is not sales. Marketing is everything that you do to ensure your ideal clients, and the keyword is ideal clients, know you, like you, and trust you. All right. So marketing is what you do, all the things that you do, right? And there are different things that you do. If you're in our community and you're one of the people that have attended our strategy factory and the likes, we do have a session on marketing channels that you could access. That's sort of like exclusive. But marketing is everything that you do, and there are 11 channels in that space. But what we want to do today is talk a little bit about a particular format of marketing that you could do. So the first concept is that marketing is everything you do to get your ideal clients to know you, like you, and trust you, right? So now marketing isn't sales, like I said earlier, but great marketing massively increases sales. Because what happens is that if you talk to a lot of people and you talk to a lot of the right people, some of them would convert. And eventually, if you do it and upskill yourself and your team, eventually becomes a mathematical formula. 10 people, reach out to you or get into your funnel, 2 people close, something like that. Eventually, it would become something similar to that approach. So marketing is the way that you reach your ideal clients to get them to know you, like you, and trust you. But the first concept I want to share is, I think that a lack of commitment to marketing is pride. Let me explain to you what you are asking. For those of you that are religious, what you're asking God to do if you don't market, right? Here's what you're asking God to do. Let's say you sell shoes. You are asking that God wakes me up, Ezekiel, in the middle of the night. I say, "Oh, Ezekiel," I said, "Yes, Lord." And then, I say, "Oh, there's a lady somewhere in the middle of somewhere that you need to buy a shoe. Her phone number is 080-129, blah, 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 and then she leaves this. When you see her tomorrow, she'll be wearing blue and gray." I'm like, why the hell would you want God or angels or anybody that you believe to go through all that stress? Why not just market? Know the kind of person that I am, figure out where I live, the kind of place that I would live, the kind of thing that I would do, and target your marketing that way. And eventually I see it, and then I might get an impression that, oh, I should do business with that person, right? So a lack of marketing is the presence of pride. So are you proud? Are you proud and broke? Right? So the first key that I tell people is, you have to have a budget. And think about it this way. What I do in our community is that I say that you need to hire staff. That staff should be called marketing. You should be committed to marketing as you are committed to that staff salary. Now, what does that mean? It means that you should treat marketing as a staff. You should commit to, there are staffs you have that you do not like their guts, right? You think that you're wasting your money paying them, but you pay them nonetheless, right? And then maybe for a couple of months before you summon the courage to fire them, but you pay them, right? As long as they show up to work. That's how you should treat marketing, right? Show up to work every day and pay marketing. Eventually find people that can do it better for you. Find ways that you could do it. And like I said, it's not just digital marketing we're talking about all the different channels of marketing, and we have identified more than 11 of them, right? Good. So it's important for you to figure out a budget, and that budget has to be consistent regardless of whether you're seeing the results or not. At least it needs to be consistent for a period of time, right? I'll give you a perfect example. I was talking somewhere, I think in 2020, and then this lady mentioned that she started doing that. She just put a 10,000 naira budget. Now, this is in 2020. I don't think a 10,000 naira budget works now, but the idea is the consistency. Put a 10,000 naira budget, and then she's doing it every month. And she says in her 4th month, she'd only maybe generated about 8 or 10 leads. And one of them bought 2 million or 4 million from her. I can't remember, from her in 21. And the same guy in 2023 did a 1 billion transaction with her. Now, here's the thing. We can be excited about the 1 billion transaction, but let's not forget that without the commitment to those ads every single month, she might never have met the guy in the first place. So the key here is commit to a budget. Commit to a budget, treat that budget like a staff, pay that salary every month, or commit to that marketing budget every month, at least for 6 months. Get as much knowledge as you can. If you can hire somebody to do it, read, watch YouTube channels like you're doing now on marketing, learn, put your money to work, figure out how to get it done. You get better with it. So what we want to do today is to discuss a form of marketing that is sort of structured in a particular way. So when we work with people, there are a couple of things that we help them identify. The first is, who is my ideal client, right? The second is, at the moment, who has my ideal client? The third is, what bait can I give to them? How do I get their attention? What bait can I give them to get their attention? The fourth is, how best can I reach them? And the fifth is, why would they buy? Let's get to work. The first of them is, who is my ideal client? And here's what I tell people. You can sell many things. You can't market many things. I mean, even Coca-Cola spends, I think, 70 to 80% of their marketing budget. And even though they have thousands of brands, Coke, Fanta, Sprite, thousands of them, about 2,600 brands under their belt, they spend most of their marketing budget on Coca-Cola itself. That singular brand sucks up almost 70 to 80% of their marketing budget. Why? Because even though you can sell many things, you can't market many things. It's better to market only one thing. And because marketing allows you, targeting a small group allows you to understand who these people are, right? Know who you should be targeting. There is no product on the face of the earth that is for everybody. None. No single product on the face of the earth that's for everybody, right? And even if it's for everybody, it cannot be targeted at everybody at the beginning. So you need to figure out, who is my ideal client? Now, who are the kind of people that I want to do business with, right? Where would they live? If they lived in Lagos, where would they live? If they lived in the UK, where would they live? If they lived in, the US, what state are they most likely going to live? If they live on the mainland, where do they live? They live on the island, where do they live? What do they do, right? What do these people do? The kind of people that are most inclined to buy what you're selling, irrespective of what it is, there are certain things that they do. Are they tech bros? Are they offline businesses? Why? Because you need to understand what they do. What do they earn? If the price point of what you're selling is $10,000 or 5 million, guess what? It's not everybody that can buy it, right? Don't give me all that bullshit talk about, there's 220 million Nigerians. There is no 220 million Nigerians for any single business. If you're in a restaurant business and you serve very low-end food, you can access 70% of the population. If you serve very high-end food, there's only a small group of people that can afford you. If you sell shoes and your shoes is over 250,000 a pair, there's only a certain amount of people that can afford you. If you sell houses and it's over 100 million naira, there's only a certain amount of people can afford you, right? So what people earn determines whether they can afford you or not. What is their worldview? What is their worldview, right? I'll give you an instance. Some of you, for example, maybe in real estate, right? And then you post reels and you post, all this stuff. And maybe you're a Christian. You post reels and you post all these really, really nice reels. But every time you post a reel, it's always like, Christian music, Tope Alabi, all this. And there's nothing wrong with that. If I had to tell one of my guys, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're selling something that has a price point of 200 million or 500 million or 50 million or 6 million. And half of the people that would buy your product are not of your faith. Now, I know you want to share your faith, but there are other more effective ways of sharing your faith. You're refusing yourself an opportunity to be understood before you're judged. If somebody that is not of your faith sees a reel that is religious, they're not just to scroll past, they're not going to watch it. But think about putting those things and putting neutral music, for example, right? And then they see it, they watch it, they do business with you, and maybe through the interaction of doing business with you, they can see your faith in full display, and maybe you can be useful to them in that area, right? So you want to present your business in a way that does not offend people's worldview, because you want to have a chance to do business with them, right? So what is their worldview, and how best can we reach them, right? So the first key here is, who's my ideal client? And all of these things are factors that you need to check. Where do they live? What do they do? What do they earn? What is their worldview? And how best can you reach them? The second is, who has my customer at the moment? So whatever it is that you sell, the person who would buy from you is somebody else's customer at the moment. I remember in the early days when we started out, it wasn't that easy to find clients, people that wanted to pay to learn about strategy and marketing and business and entrepreneurship. So one of the things that we did was we asked, who has our customers at the moment? Who has our customers at the moment? And so we identified, microfinance banks. I said, look, you borrow people money, you do business with them. Some of them aren't paying, and they aren't paying because they don't have the resources. So we started to do, work with those guys on working on initiatives. And we picked the microfinance bank I work with, or the ones in the right side of town, not just, sorry. So we then, started working with those guys. And, as we were working with those guys, I was doing sessions. One of them had like a women program. I was doing sessions there. For one other one, I was doing an expert in residence session where, people that had business problems would come talk with me for 5 minutes. I pick a particular day. And by doing that, we're able to start converting some of those people to become clients. Some of them are still our clients till today. And this is more than 10 years, 12 years, down the road. So somebody has your customer. The person who is supposed to be your customer is someone else's customer. And when I say someone else's, I don't mean like your competitor. No, I mean someone that can complement, So for example, in Nigeria, when you are on the street, you see bread and ewa goyam bread, right? You see all those things. So the person who's selling bread is following the person that's selling, beans, ewa goyam. Why? Because the person who's going to buy the beans, or the customer of the person who sells the beans, is the customer that the person who's selling the bread is also looking for, right? So you want to find people who have access to your client already and find opportunities to collaborate with them, to offer them services, sometimes even for free, so that you can get the opportunity to access their database. You can get the opportunity to access the people that they already have influence with and might be able to extend that influence to you, right? The third is, what bait can I give them to get their attention? And this is quite easy. Some of us who do online businesses are very good at giving people ebooks and but it's not just about that, right? It's about many other things, especially for those of us that need to do things offline, right? Many other things that you can give. What are like in our own case, like I mentioned, it's the free expert in residence session. It's the free sessions that we gave and then helped us to get the attention of people, got people to understand the value that we brought. And then we're able to do that. Even for our strategy factory workshop, I think the first Sunday or Saturday of the month, we give out some free content, and then those people also find their way, to come into the program, right? So you want to be able to offer something, and that thing has to be valuable enough to get their attention, right? And valuable enough to help them realize that they need you going forward, right? I'll give you a perfect example of, I used to live in an estate, and there's a particular gas plant that I used to go and buy gas. But there was a guy right outside the estate who sells gas. But, for whatever reason, I just never went there, right? So, but right beside the guy who sells gas is a guy who fixes tires. So one day I'm trying to fix my tire, and then the guy who sells gas said, "Oh, sir, where do you get your gas from?" And I told him I got my gas. And I said, "Okay, that's fine. You can get your gas from that place, but I'm offering free checkup, maintenance, servicing, free servicing for gas cookers." I said, "Oh, okay, good. I mean, I haven't served my gas cooker in years." So I invite him to come to the house. He comes to the estate, he checks the name, he services the gas cookers. And then he says, "Oh, your gas cookers, these are the things you need to buy." So I bought him. He didn't collect any money. He didn't collect any service charge because it was supposed to be free servicing. And then he says, "Sir, you don't have to stress yourself with this gas, right? I mean, I'm just right outside the estate. If you need it, just, call and we'll replace it for you." And I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting." right? And that's the day the guy got me off. So I stopped because I thought about it, right? I go to this company, I'm there, I'm treated like anybody else, and therefore sometimes 30 minutes, maybe in an hour, and this guy could just literally come, pick this thing up, switch it up, and then the guy got me for that guy got me. I was in that estate for 6 years, I think. Yeah, 6 years. And the guy got me every single time. In fact, at some point, I didn't even know how much we were selling gas outside because whatever he told me to pay was what I paid, right? So get people's attention, all right? So remember, the first is who's my ideal clients. The second is, who has my ideal clients. The third is what do I need to do to get their attention. The fourth is how best can I reach them? It's not everybody that it's best to reach online. Yeah, because I know there's a lot of talk about online, and we do online. We have a significantly crazy budget on our online ads. It's significant, right? It's probably one of the reasons why you're seeing this video now. It's significant, but we also have 11 other channels. We do digital ads, like I said, we do speaking engagements, we sell directly to organizations, we do alumni events, we do a lot of things. And like I said, there's already a 2-hour content on that you could access, but it's sort of exclusive to those within our community, right? So if you want any information on that, come to Strategy Factory, and the like, you'll be able to access that. But how best can we reach them, right? Because it's not just how can we reach them, it's how best can we reach them. There are many ways to reach people, but sometimes there's a best way to reach people, right? So I'll give you an instance. You want somebody to mentor you, for example, right? And you could go into their DM and say, oh, and then put up all this stuff, I need you to mentor me, blah, 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 blah. Or you could find a way to serve them in a way that is valuable to them, right? They have an event, you go there, you find a way, pay for the highest ticket, you get in, you get their attention. In fact, one of our staffs that works with us today, that's one of the things that he did, right? He attended one of our high-end program, and when he attended, came in, and then the next week after the program, he reaches out to us. My team got to see him, and then introduced him to me, and he said, "I'd like to work here." And I was really impressed by. A guy like this just left school, paid this amount of money to come for the program. I want this kind of guy, and he got the opportunity to work here. And it's been amazing ever since. But the idea here is that there's a best way to meet people, not just different ways to meet people, right? There's a fantastic best way to meet people. So you need to find that. You need to find what works for your people. There are some people that where you meet them matters, right? You want them to meet you in a certain place. There are some of you run businesses that are for a certain class of people, and you don't realize that flying business class must be a thing that you do, right? So there's a best way to meet them. And lastly is the most important question: why would they buy? Because we're very good at understanding why we want to sell and what we want to sell. But we haven't spent a lot of time trying to understand why people are going to buy. And why is it important to understand that? Because once you can hypothesize why they want to buy, then you can infuse that into your pitch. Because what you really want to do is that you want to join the conversation that's already happening in their head. There's a conversation happening in my head if I'm thinking about a product. I want to buy an iPad or an iPhone or a car or whatever it is. There's already a conversation in my head, right? The person who wins is the person who successfully joins that conversation, right? And aligns with the voice that's already in my head. So the question is, why would people buy? You want to sell somebody a Rolls Royce, and you're telling the person that it goes 0 to 60, 0 to 100 kilometers in 2.8 seconds. No, that's the sales pitch for a Bugatti. Because the person who's buying a Rolls Royce is buying a Rolls Royce because they want people to see them. And besides, for the price point of the Rolls Royce, anywhere the person who bought the Rolls Royce is going, there's a high likelihood that everybody there is waiting for him to arrive for the meeting to start. So you sell Rolls Royce. The person that wants to buy Rolls Royce wants to buy it for prestige, right? The person that wants to buy a Bugatti is buying for status and performance. The person that wants to buy a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon is not buying it because he wants to go off-road, at least in the Nigerian context. He's buying it so that when he arrives, they will know that, the Lord is good. And then the proposal will move quickly, and then things will happen as it should, right? So you need to understand why somebody wants to buy. The person who's buying a house in Banana Island is not looking for a home. Is looking for a home with great neighbors. So you have to understand that what is more important than what you want to sell is what the person wants to buy. And whatever it is that your discussion would be should be around why that person wants to buy what they want to buy. Because that's the person that matters. It doesn't matter whether you are passionate about the product, whether you think the product's the best thing since sliced bread. The market is the ultimate judge. The client decides whether you win or lose. And so the best thing to do is to get into the conversation that's happening in the client's head and figure out how to be credibly a part of that conversation. So I hope that this session has been quite useful to you. Please get the information to be able to join our community. We do have a community where you get access to videos from me daily, every single day, 365 days a year. You get videos, and then you can also join any of our Strategy Factory programs. Seeing you at one of our programs or seeing you next time on YouTube. Bye-bye.